of that time period looked like. As you can see, a Semitic person of color, Semitic prisoner painted on terracotta. Okay. As we can see, two Semitic Hebrew or Israelite women. You can see the hoop earring, the nose, the broad lips, etc. Woman of color. As we can see, a man with an afro, whatnot. Okay, people of color. Same thing over here. People of color with the afros doing their task and whatnot. Right here we have the Pharaoh. The Egyptians became familiar with a horse and wagon after the victory of the Hyksos in the beginning of the long period, 1730 through 1580 BCE, the rule of the Asiatic peoples of the land of the pharaohs. Okay. You see that? Same thing right here. Now let's skip a couple pages and look at, I thought this picture was quite interesting as well. Okay. As we can see, here's a Israelite or Hebrew. And when we zoom in, we can look at his features. You see, we got the woolly, kinky hair, the beard, and so forth. Same thing over here as well. So, that's all I wanted to share. No hate.
The press, stop it. Look at Putin. Putin is showing who the Negroes are. When you go into Russia, they never took our murals down. These murals are from the Black Russian Archives Church that you can see when you go to YouTube. Putin was showing the world who we are. He wanted everybody to see it. But if you notice, the American cameras, they took the camera and they dropped it. When you go through all of Europe, all of France, all of Germany, all of Italy, all of Russia, all of the European nations and the Americas, you're going to find out something, that this so-called Negroes or Moors only mean that you're black. Moors ran everything, and a lot of these Moors were Jews. Some were Sephardic Jews, and some of them were other type of Jews. But these Jews or Israelites ran what you would call the European nations. That's why when you go into Germany, they find bodies that are thousands of years old, and these bodies are so-called Moors. And when they go into Britain, Britain just means sons of Isaac. That's exactly what it means. Britain, when you get a lot of these names, as Johnson, McKeever, and McDowell, you would think that these names were actually European. But you got to remember, these people were in the Caucasus Mountains. They didn't even speak English. These so-called Negroes and Moors taught them English. And when they came later in the 19th century, they basically took over all of Britain, France, Germany from the 11th century. After the 19th century, they took over everything. And what they did, they came through and they whitewashed everything. So I'm showing you pictures of the ancient nobles here right now as we speak. As a matter of fact, there's a picture here of the painting by Michelangelo, and it's in the Sistine Chapel, and it's of Joseph and Jacob. Here's another one of Moors fighting what they call wild men. And here's a picture of Robert Pufus by Jean Faucus, or king. He was a king in Britain. And here are coats of arms. These are different nations of Britain, of different people who are Moors. Now, look here, the Holy Roman Emperor, Charles V.